New at 6, the terror group ISIL is now calling on its followers to attack civilians. In a 42-minute audio tape, the group's spokesman says it is ready to fight a U.S.-led military coalition. He also calls on followers around the world to kill civilians in any nation that joins the coalition. Meanwhile, an al-Qaeda splinter group is threatening to kill a French citizen unless France ends its airstrikes against ISIL targets in Iraq. And today, the head of Syria's Western-backed opposition called for immediate U.S. airstrikes against ISIL in Syria. The call for help comes amid growing criticism of the Obama administration's policies in both Syria and Iraq. Kai Jackson joins us from the newsroom with more on this story. Kai?
Yeah, Maureen, there are some concerns that the president is trying to rewrite history. Critics and historians may examine the president's decisions regarding Iraq. Yet we talk with a policy expert who believes it's the balance of power in Washington that is in need of scrutiny.
The chaos in Iraq has put the terror group ISIS under the world microscope. How the group came to power in the first place is also being examined and debated.
There's such a division between the Republican and Democratic parties right now, and the opinions on foreign policy get a little bit frustrating after a while because they're so different.
After nearly 9 years, America's war in Iraq will be over.
There are critics who say the president's decision to pull U.S. troops out of Iraq left the country in shambles and gave life to ISIS and other terrorists.
Obama never ended the war in Iraq, as he said. He abandoned the war in Iraq.
The administration argues it had to pull out of Iraq because the Iraqi government was opposed to a status of forces agreement that would have protected Americans serving in the country. While Mr. Obama has his share of critics, he also has supporters, like former President Bill Clinton.
The president's strategy has a chance of succeeding because the Iraqi government is now more inclusive than it has been since the fall of Saddam Hussein.
I don't think that he wanted to re-engage in Iraq.
Dr. Shun Murray is an associate professor at American University. She's written a new book specifically about the authorization for military force after September 11th.
You have a president who came into office articulating how he wanted to respect Congress's role in foreign policy. And now he seems to be trying to skirt around the congressional role.
Dr. Murray says she's less worried about the president rewriting his history with Iraq and more concerned about presidential powers in the future.
While the debate rages on over exactly what to do in Iraq, some are saying what's really critical is that the balance of power be maintained in Washington.
So I think it's really time for the Congress to step up and to pass an authorization, to debate it, and then pass an authorization specific to ISIS and to sunset the 2001 authorization for the use of military force.
Dr. Shun Murray believes the reason for some of the dysfunction in Washington has been the inability of the administration and Congress to work together. Maureen?
Thank you, Kai.